Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now let's do some top-down analysis on British pound, Japanese yen. Um, from the weekly time frame when sellers territory. However, price printed an interesting formation, okay, which is this inverted head and shoulder pattern for those who do patterns, okay. Another school of thought will call this a V formation, okay. Now this is the breakout candle that broke this neckline. Okay, so what we are now looking at is if the next week's candle breaks this high or creates a top wick, bottom wick and turns bullish, we'll be anticipating price to do what? Continue rally to at least this level here, which it had what? It has hit. Okay, after hitting that point, it activated all the pending orders that wants to drive price down, and the same way closing some stop loss for those who want to trade contrary to the trend of the market. Okay, so with this we now see that on the weekly time frame we are bearish, meaning we are looking for further drops in price. Okay, now looking on the daily time frame, price printed something interesting for the daily in the sense whereby this is what we are looking at on the daily buys. Okay, this day before yesterday was the breakout candle above this resistance, anticipating price to continue the bullish rally. Now if you look closely based on what was said on the weekly time frame, you would see that this place price reacted from is exactly where our weekly time frame guys are waiting. Okay, let's go up one more leg. Look at it. This is the neckline or where price breached coming down. So if you're using the ICT method, the, there was a fair value gap here. Okay, fair value gap here, which has been filled now. And if you see this gap here has already been filled, in the sense whereby look at this from here to here is a natural gap. However, generally from here to here will be considered our fair value gap. And as you can see, price has filled the fair value gap, and now it wants to do what? Turn down to target this fair value gap down here. So we're anticipating price to do what? Drop to at least this zone if it wants to respect the fair value gap before turning upwards again. So this is another way of looking at it. Price always goes to tap at it, those zones of imbalance, those areas of imbalance comes to the place it react as in it impossibly started, feel that area of imbalance, turn up again to retest the high. Like in this case, it will try to retest the low, but because of this demand zone here, it will come first to retest this high before dropping to retest the low. It's a kind of complex market structure, but I'm doing my best to keep it very simple. So with that being said, price tapped filling this gap, okay, and again with respect to the fair value gap, which is from here to here. Now if you drop down to the daily time frame, which is where we were before we came up, on the daily time frame we're looking at further buys, in the sense whereby this is buyer's territory. This is where price closed day before yesterday, went bullish and came down to retest this daily breach line or demand zone. It just tapped it and turned bullish. Just tapped it and turned bullish. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we're looking for buys. However, on the 4 hours time frame, we're looking for sells. Okay. On the 4 hours time frame, we're looking for sells. This is the seller's territory. and price right now is retracing. Okay, so why is daily looking for buys? 4 hours we're looking for sells, weekly sells, monthly buys. This is where the market becomes a little interesting, because it's as if the higher time frame is in confluence with the time frame below the one directly following it. This is daily, this is 4 hours, opposite direction. This is weekly, this is monthly, opposite direction. This is what makes trading very interesting, because if one time frame is disrespected, you would feel the hammer. Like in this case, those who were interested in just buying because price was printing bullish, look at what just happened. Because of this zone from here upwards, price just reacted and dropped massively. So if you drop down to the 1 hour, so that means if we are looking at 4 hours as our big boys, 1 hour would be the potential trading what time frame. So what is 1 hour showing us? 1 hour is showing us very simple market structure. This is the dump, very sweet dump, but I just didn't catch it. I would have taken sales anywhere below here, because on the weekly we are in buyers sellers territory. Look at this strong leg from here to this very support. Okay, then continuation to this low, very sweet price action. So what I'm looking at right now is, if this candle closes bearish, okay, and the next candle opens and breaks this high, we could anticipate further bullish momentum. However, if it closes bearish and the next candle closes bearish, beautiful, give some deep retracement for price to go up. That is, if it breaks this high. However, this is at as at this current time, there is a range here that I'm looking at, this high and this low. If candle closes bearish and gives some retracement, we will anticipate further bullish rally after it breaks this high to continue going up. If you look at it technically, this is clean traffic to the left. On the other hand, if it breaks this low, this is clean traffic for price to convert, retest this low. But this is already too close to this daily demand zone. Already too close. So I would prefer some deep retracement. I don't know how many swings it's going to give us in this retracement phase, or this correction phase, or this counter trend phase, before price will do what? Continue is bearish to retest this low. So on British pound Japanese yen, we're on the retracement phase. Let's see how deep it will go before it will dump. Okay. For gold, just like you have to watch the forecast for yesterday so that you have a better picture of why this is pushing up. But I'll just give you a summary. This price is currently pushing up because it had tapped this demand zone. It came close to its demand zone. So two things could happen. If this week closes bullish anywhere around here, and I prefer a strong bullish candle, we'll anticipate the next week's candle to continue going up. Okay, but don't disregard this area where price did some slow motion. Okay, so this area could cause price to react. Okay, if it breaks this low, continue down. But if it fails to break this low, you make a double bottom, then continue retrace upwards. So this is one way going up. Another way, if this closes bullish and the next week's candle breaks the low, we anticipate what? Further bearish momentum. Okay, but as the day goes, we'll be giving more, exposing more stuff on what price wants to do. The last but not the least is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is showing some impressive price action in the sense whereby this is our resistance, okay, which has been tapped. So we are in this big range right now. Here is our resistance 1, resistance 2 has been tapped. I'm sure some people are already shorting this price. So what I'm looking at, instead of just shorting it blindly, is to wait, because we're in demand or buyer's territory and we see some weak leg, impulsive leg going up, weak leg coming down. So if we get a break of this high, we're expecting price to continue its rally, clean traffic to the left. Okay, clean traffic to the left, and again continue its rally to fill this fair value gap here using the ICT concept. There's a fair value gap here, so we're expecting price to at least try to hit some or fill some of this gap here. Okay, on the other hand, if it breaks this low, then we'll wait for retracement and continuation of the bearish momentum. As at this moment, this would not really be an area of concern. Okay, so I could remove this. This would not be an area of concern. But let me leave this at the moment, because this let me leave it for the moment, because for price to just drop down straight, even if it's dropping, it wants to react from an area, which it could be this area looking left. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. Do well to subscribe, hit that notification button, comment and like. Your one and only Pips Collector. Baraka Bashad, peace.